Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome back to the Road to Grandmaster. I am still sick, so apologies if I'm a bit sniffly or stuffed up in this video here today, but pretty cool one. Gonna be playing some Murky today. Oh yeah, we're gonna be playing some Murky. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to bring you guys this video, actually. I was expecting that Murky was gonna be nerfed this week. He hasn't been nerfed yet though, so until he is, well, hey, you're going to have this video to show you a bit about how Murky is done. I'm sure you guys have already know a little bit, though. He's been a pretty popular hero. Turns out he's incredibly powerful. Interestingly enough, he hasn't been doing as well in the higher leagues as he's been doing in the lower leagues, which is, I think, quite an interesting thing. You know, he does have counterplay built into his kit, specifically around his laning phase and early game. He becomes incredibly strong in the late game, pretty much no matter what. But you can definitely punish his early game and take a bit of advantage out of that. And yeah, it leads to an interesting thing. I think part of it, we'll see how it goes in this game, but part of it, right, is that, excuse me, I think in lower leagues people are not as on top of the laning phase as they are in like Master and Grandmaster, stuff like that. So they give Murky a little bit more leeway. They don't punish him as much. But even still, he's still, no doubt about it, he's still incredibly strong and well worth playing. Also worth noting, what are Murky's best maps? We're playing on Infernal Shrines. He's actually pretty damn good on Infernal Shrines. He's pretty damn good. I think his best two maps are, and probably always will be, Garden of Terror and Haunted Mines. Why is that the case? What's special about these two maps? Well, if you think about it, the objectives on Garden of Terror and Haunted Mines, let's say in comparison to, let's say Warhead Junction, which I think he's pretty bad on, or Blackheart's Bay, where I don't think he's fantastic either, right? On Warhead Junction and Blackheart's Bay, you pick up the objective. Blackheart's Bay, it's coins. Warhead Junction, it's nukes. If you get killed, you drop that objective and you actually give it away to the enemy. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, you pick up spider butts. When you die, you don't give them to the enemy, but you lose them for your team. Whereas on Garden of Terror and Haunted Mines, fundamentally what these maps are about is both teams actually get some of the objective, and the objective is actually spread out based upon kind of favored for each team. So for example, on Garden of Terror, some of the small sea camps are closer to blue team, some are closer to red team. Each team has an advantage in getting the ones closer to their base. And when you just kill the minions, the skeletons on Haunted Mines, the shamblers on Garden of Terror, they drop their little seeds or the little skulls. You pick them up and they are permanently part of your collection. You don't lose them. There's no way to lose them if you die. So Murky fits in so well on those because he could basically be this sort of like the spy, this undercover operative in Haunted Mines and in Garden of Terror, just sneaking into the enemy team side of the map, permanently stealing away their easy to reach resources for the objective. Then hey, if they rotate around and they kill him, that's what makes it so difficult to do that on another hero, because if you lose a hero, that's a big loss up for your team and you give up so much control and map pressure and XP. Well hey, if they rotate around and they kill Murky, not a big deal. Murky just kind of laughs and goes, okay, well you get, quarter of XP for a kill. I'm going to respawn super fast. We still have those skulls. We still have those seeds. Not a problem for us. You get a little bit of XP. In return, we get a big lead on the objective. That you can't, it's very hard for to punish that. So I think he's always going to be really good in those maps. Infernal Shrines here though, also a very good map for him. Obviously we can be fairly aggressive on the shrines if needs be, and we can also split push fairly aggressively, and I think this last pick is where things get a little bit crazy. Here we go. Okay, so this is where things definitely switch up a notch in this game, because the enemy team does grab Abathur, and this is going to add a bit of a twist to this gameplay. So the enemy team is also going to have this sort of fairly risk-free global split pushing, split soaking terror, as it were. So yeah, that should be kind of interesting to go up against us. Our teammate wants to switch to Artanis. I really don't like this very much. The blind is fantastic, but we'd have literally no ranged damage, so we would get bullied quite hard. I don't like it too much. Excuse me, he does switch to Vala in the end. I think Tychus was the perfect choice. I think Tychus is just fine against Greymane, and I mean, if you look at their team, right, they're going to have Stitches, Greymane, Ragnaros. They're all pretty high HP melee heroes. I mean, Greymane switches between melee and range, but they're all pretty high HP, so you get good value out of his gun. He also has a bit of mobility. The problem with Vala is that Vala is super squishy, And the weakness of Lucio as a support is that Lucio does not deal super well with like high dive, high burst, or a high engage. I mean, he's got his heroic, which is one thing, and that's great when that's available, but if it's not, and if like they jump in, like if they clone 2 Grey Mains, that's gonna be pretty hard for him to keep Vala alive through that. He'll definitely have to invest a lot of resources. Johanna will be fairly good for zoning that out and preventing that, but it should be an interesting game. I think both teams have got a very interesting draft. Very interesting draft. The Stitches is probably the biggest problem for them. The Stitches is not a very good pick, but you could imagine if that was like a Muradin or an ETC or something along those lines, even a Diablo or something, I don't know. This could get pretty scary. I think that's the one redeeming. That's one of the big redeeming things about what the enemy team has for us, is that they have Stitches. I'm also trying to get some Stitches gameplay for you guys pretty soon. But yeah, we're going to be focused quite a lot on split pushing here as Murky, so let's get into the game. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, I should be live actually today on Zola Esports Academy. I meant to say this at the start of the video, but my head's a bit all over the place with this illness. We're going to jump into some Hero League today on Zola. It could be interesting. There'll be lots of sniffling and nose blowing and sneezing and coughing and such, but we're going to try our best and continue on the push to Master. We're currently actually at the highest Master rating I've ever been at this season. Actually, all seasons. Well, actually, technically in Season 1, we didn't have as many points, but we were 1 game from Grandmaster when I got bored. But this season, we've got the most points we've ever had, you know, objectively, in terms of like the raw total of points. We're going to be pushing forwards with that and seeing what we can do the last couple of weeks of the season, or 3 weeks, whatever it is. Excuse me. So, yeah, come hop over Zola Esports Academy on Twitch. You can check that out, probably live when this video is live. I'm going to be streaming for about 3 hours or so if I survive. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to go top lane. And you can see I'm saying, like, yeah, don't let me be stuck against Greymane. Apart from that, I'm fine. But I really don't want to be against Greymane. Greymane wrecks Murky. Murky's biggest problem is ranged basic attack heroes. That's his biggest problem in the lane. Well, just in general. So Greymane I found to be is the real problem. Vala, obviously, Tychus to a certain degree, but not as much because, you know, Minigun loses all value pretty much against Murky. All those heroes are very, very good against Murky. Why? Because Murky, fundamentally, he's a very low mobility hero. He wants to be using melee range slimes, and he wants to be protecting his pufferfish. The thing that ranged heroes like Greymane can do, they could just stay in range for him. And they just keep attacking Murky from range. They just poke away at his health. And because they're using basic attacks, they're not actually investing. Excuse me. They're not actually investing anything into. Unfortunately, he killed our pufferfish there. Well played by him. Actually, it was probably more well played by the Abathur had arriving and helping out. Yeah, but basically, like, heroes with spells like a Kael'thas has to invest his spells and his cooldowns into killing Murky and his mana. Whereas someone like Vala or Greymane, they can just poke away. It costs them absolutely nothing, except, you know, the mild opportunity cost of not shooting the wave instead. But it's super easy for them to clear him out. Pretty interesting to lane against Ragnaros. He actually misclicks that. Oh, it explodes. Whoops. Poor Ragnaros. We did pick up a fishy deal at level, level 1. Murky into Ragnaros is an interesting lane, because obviously Ragnaros wants to be farming his quest as well as your level 1 quest, your fishy deal. So that can make for some interesting gameplay. He's actually going to harass us a little bit. Which basically, with a fishy deal, you want to land 1 slime on the wave, then you want to throw down your pufferfish, you want to land another slime on the wave, and then you want to transition into, yeah, basically that's what you do. So you have 1 slime to damage the wave slightly, throw down a pufferfish, that's going to get some kills. That was kind of a waste of a pufferfish, actually, you didn't get anything. Then you hit another slime to get the wave low enough so that your pufferfish will sort of finish off as many minions as possible. You might want to land a few basic attacks on each other thing as well. So you can see here, for example, there we go. We needed to land maybe 1 or 2 more basic attacks on the melee minion there, but we did pretty well, and we got most of that wave. In the meantime, our team are doing a good job. We're slightly ahead in terms of XP, and they've been getting a few ganks around the place, which is nice. Greymane's going to come try kill us. We're going to bubble away. Greymane is like one of your worst nightmares, guys. He's one of your worst nightmares. This dude sucks. He can kite you very well. It was very amusing to me, actually. It shows you like how B2R works. We're going to just body block this. Stitches in. Glorious body blocking. He's so goddamn tanky, though. We're going to try kill him. We get so close to finishing him off, but not quite enough. Kerrigan did finish off the shrine. She gets him! She gets him! Beautiful. Well played by Kerrigan. The Punisher being a real non-team player, not jumping over the wall to finish them off. What a jerk. Punisher, anti-MVP. Or we got ourselves a big-ass wave here. This is lovely. Throwing down the puffer fish. We're actually going to try... Yeah, we actually kill off the Abathur hat one there. And then push in. What I'm going to do, now we've got 3 stacks of bribe with a fishy deal. We're going to run in and we are going to steal away the enemy's bruiser camp. It might, honestly, I don't know. This is one of the interesting things, right, is... Excuse me, sorry for the sniffles. I can't help it. Is stealing the enemy's camp versus taking your own. So obviously because we've stolen the enemy camp, we now have more of... Oh, hello. Stitch's hook. Okay. Oh no, he's gonna kill me. We don't really mind. As you can see, Murky's health regen is actually really fast. I was gonna tap a well and I was like, yo, I actually don't need to. You get so much HP regen as Murky, you don't actually need to. Which is stealing the enemy's camp versus taking your own. It also changes up a bit depending on whether you've got a bribe thing that reduces the cooldown. We got time to krill at level 7, by the way. Ragnar is clearly not at all expecting us to be there, and he gets heavily punished for doing so. Moving into the lane, we're able to pick him off very nicely. But yeah, I think generally speaking, as Murky, you want to be stealing away your enemy's merc camps, not your own. That's probably the best rule of thumb. Sometimes you do want to take your own, will obviously do more because they'll be coming down with your minions, so they'll push better. But I think it's better to deny the enemy team having a merc camp at all. Then you can take your own anyway, pretty easily. He's actually pretty good at it. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider. Our teammates are doing a good job. We're going to continue farming up. Fishy deal. Here we go. This should be nice. I actually basically attacked a caster minion by accident. That was kind of dumb. So we missed out 1 minion. But we've got another 2 stacks of bribe ready to go. Nice thing about Infernal Shrines as well, check it out. Bruiser Camp only has 3 minions, so you don't need 4 stacks, you only need 3 to steal that away, which is kind of cool. The Siege Camps are worse for stealing, but the Bruiser Camps are better. And they're pretty easy to steal too. It's just one of those maps. Level 4, I do pick up Slime Time. So it's a quest. We get a quest stack whenever we slime an enemy hero that's already slimed. After doing it 15 times, Slime does way more damage. It does 125 bonus damage, which is crazy good. After hitting 30 heroes, it makes the slime slow by 35% as opposed to 20%. Excuse me, make that 25%. It's a 25% slow for 8 seconds with slime. This, when you finish the quest, it becomes a 35% slow for 8 seconds, which is really strong. It's not super important though. I mean, even still, with 15 stacks, the bonus damage is incredibly good. We're going to come in, help our team out here. We're going to blow the Horn of Doom, the Horn of Murky, and the mini grunty Murkies are going to attack. Johanna is chasing down this Greymane with us. We're going to finish him off. The healing from Malf, not enough to save him, and Malf gets caught out. The mini Murkies doing their job. The turret takes revenge. But the March of the Murloc strikes, and we pick up 2 kills with Murky's assault. Pretty nice, pretty nice. So yeah, March of the Murlocs, that's obviously what I pick up at level 10, by the way. That's the heroic of choice here. It does a nice bit of damage. It gives you very nice zone control. And Octograb is just not that good at the moment. So yeah, I give pretty strong preference to March of the Murlocs. We actually kited that out of Kerrigan's thing. Whoops, our bad. But he has a Q build, so he should be able to hop. My goal here was basically just to get 1 hit on each of these so that Kerrigan can like just Q and kill, basically straight up. We actually have the reverse amp from Lucio, pretty cool, and he's going in pretty aggressively. A big cleanse comes out, which is smart. It's going to save the Stitches, or is it? No, Stitches is going down. Rest in pepperonis. Fortunately, our teammates are going down as well. In fact, everyone dies. Vala was not here. And being outmanned, being outnumbered, plus not having many of our heroics, leads to a poor fight for us, so we lose 3 heroes. This jerk Ragnaros does finish off our minion wave. What a jerk. We're going to do a little bit of damage to him. We've got 7 stacks in our slime quest. Our egg is now in danger. We're definitely going to have to move that before the Punisher arrives. Level 7, time to krill. Definitely my talent of choice here. Basic attacks do a bit of extra damage, and they do a stacking slow, a 4-second slow. It's 8 seconds per basic attack. Stacks up to 5 times. So that's up to a 40% slow on your basic attacks, which is really nice. I'm going to come down here and start split pushing. We're going to lose the Punisher. I don't really want to be there. I'm not going to add much to the defense. So I'm just going to leave my teammates to deal with that. We actually got 3 stacks of our bribe once again, which is nice. And well played team. They actually move in and... Never mind. I thought we were going to lose that Punisher. But I think we went in with our cooldowns. Ooh, Vala's dead. But we went in with cooldowns. And our teammates managed to kill the entire enemy team. I am going to grab Fish Tank in this game. I think level 13 is a really interesting one for Murky. It's a really interesting one for Murky. The default choice would be Rejuvenating Bubble. This makes your safety bubble, your E, heal you for 50% of your max health. It scales really nicely into the late game, and just a nice chunk of extra survivability, which is cool. We're going to come in here, do some damage. We actually popped March of the Murlocs here. We want to just slow down the enemy team, get them in a rough position. Every Murloc that hits them is going to apply a dot and a little bit of a slow. Help the Punisher pick up some kills. Unfortunately, the Punisher does jump on Stitches instead of on Greymane. We're going to come in and hit this other Greymane, which, considering that the enemy team is quite focused on double Greymane, I figured that that's a good shield from Johanna. It's not enough to save Lucio, though. He's very low. We're going to die as well. Johanna's going down too. Lucio is very low in life. Ooh, Vala almost got hooked in and killed. And that push did not work out too well for us. Not work out too well for us at all. Well played by the enemy team. The Punisher was not being cooperative in terms of who's jumping on top of. What a jerk. We got a few stacks of this, though. We had bribed that Bruiser Camp away as well, which is kind of nice. But yeah, Fish Tank in this game. We get 75 armor when we basically attack a hero. Thought that would be pretty strong against the Greymane clones and such. We'd be able to tank them up quite nicely. And the Mule is doing some work. We're just going to keep stacking our quests. We're actually going to tap our well here at this point. We're going to start clearing this out. Get more pufferfish stacks. Our teammates got a couple, one kill, and they lost one hero themselves. We're gonna rotate up and see if we can help them out if they're okay. Looks like they're actually fine. Everything's backed off. We're gonna de-push this Abathur lane. Looks like there's still a bit of an engagement going down. I decided at this point I'm actually gonna bribe a siege camp away. I want to create some pressure on the bottom half of the map. And this is like stealing a fairly neutral siege camp. I had stacks. We're nowhere near the bruisers. There's like enemy stuff between us. I said, you know, a siege push will like stop this Abathur thing. I figured that was a pretty useful thing to bribe into. Gonna pop March of the Murlocs. Firing it off to the right hand side. Want to slow this enemy team down. Yes, they're hitting Malfurion. That's perfect. He goes down. Actually gets off Twilight Dream before he dies, unfortunately for us. So we lose a bit of life. But good for them. We're gonna chase down this Ragnaros. Hitting with some good hits. He tries to Sulfurous Smashes, and Stitches saves us with a hook. Ragnaros does go down. And now level 16, this is where Murky starts getting a little bit crazy. Looks like our teammates should get a couple more kills. Very well played. Awesome stuff. Taking down Malf first is definitely a big advantage. And I think they'd spent the clone in an earlier fight. Abathur is running away. Sneaky bugger. He knows what I was up to. There we go. Clear out a wave with the pufferfish. Work out these Abathur things. And Kerrigan's working on the shrine. Hopefully our team don't get caught there. Kerrigan is soloing the shrine. I'm soloing bottom fort. They're getting some keep damage, but they definitely need to be careful. Respawn timers are coming up soon. So hopefully our teammates are going to be safe. They're not going to overcommit to anything. And things will be just fine. We're just empowering our XP gain and working away this fort. Yeah, you can see the enemy team's respawned and we're beating a hasty retreat. Hopefully we're going to be fine. I'm going to come up and help out my team. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be okay. Only 10 things left on Kerrigan. I'm going to just perform distraction duties here. I'm basically the Kerrigan. You don't need to worry about any heroes attacking you, Murky. I'm going to keep stacking up my quests as well. I'm going to pop the bubble here. We're going to die, but it's okay. We got, I think, 2 or 3 stacks of our slime quests there. We got a good few, which is fantastic. We're only 2 stacks away now from finishing that and getting way more damage on our slime, which is really good because at level 16 we got toxic buildup. Every 3rd basic attack against a hero is going to do a free slime on them. So that's going to massively increase our damage, especially once this quest is finished. That's going to be an extra like 125 damage. Actually, it's going to be more powerful because it's, you know, and it also stacks up with the slimes that we currently have. It's a pretty big deal. We move in the middle of the enemy team. Our fish tank actually keeping us alive against some of these lighter Greymane hits. We tried to do as much damage as we can, but we couldn't do too much more. Looks like Johanna's in trouble. Oh, Kerrigan kicks off one nice kill. Looks like Greymane is very low as well. Kerrigan was rooted though, can't pick him off. Lucio gets gorged. That's probably a dead Lucio. Kerrigan goes in, picks off the Greymane. Well played. Lucio is going to run out of there. We're coming to join our teammates. We're on the core. I think this is going to be it. I'm going to throw down my egg right outside the enemy base for this final push. I want to respawn as close as possible. We didn't even get to Murky's ultimate late game spike in this game, but still you could see some of the effectiveness of Murky. We're pushing in. The core is going down 55%, 50%. We're going to do a bit of damage to Stitches here. We finish our Q quest, which is nice. Core is down, and there we go. We end the game. GG, well played. It was an interesting game, you know, it was pretty back and forth. There were a couple of like full team wipes both ways, so it was kind of close, but we are still fairly high up actually. Or we never felt like we were losing. We lost a few team fights, but we never felt like we were actually losing the game. Our Kerrigan player did a really good job. Like kind of everyone did a pretty good job here. Overall, I think really the one criticism I would have was the point where Vala was split pushing instead of doing the objective. I think that's a bad idea when you've got a Murky, because Murky's going to be split pushing anyway. So I feel like sending Vala away is a pretty bad idea. Like I said, you know, range damage is so important in terms of having control. Jeff, Fishy Deal, Slime Time, Time to Krill, March of the Murlocs, Fish Tank in this game, and Toxic Build-Up. I do think, and I have to say, I do think Rejuvenating Bubble overall is better, which is healing 50% of your maximum health. And I like to get Big Tuna Kahuna at level 20, which doubles your max health and also doubles your respawn time. The doubled respawn time really doesn't matter that much. You still have, like, once you get that, you've got a 16-second respawn time. You know, at level 20, most heroes have a 60-second respawn time. 16 seconds is just fine. It's really not that much of a sacrifice. And double max health is really good. It makes you so much tankier, and it enables you to be in the front line, getting off slimes, getting off basic attacks so much more. And then that synergizes so well with Rejuvenating Bubble because it's healing you for half your max HP. Hey, if you double your max HP, you just double the effectiveness of that talent. So it's really, really strong. But yeah, I went for Fish Tank in this case because they had two grey mains, and I kind of wanted that disruptive element of, okay, like you try to, you know, the two Worgen grey mains try to focus on the low health Murky to try finish him off, and oh hey, you're only doing 25% damage per attack. And suddenly this Murky that you thought you would kill really easily lasts much longer, and it kind of ruins your team fight. I kind of wanted to go for that. Fish Tank seems incredibly strong. The big problem is you are somewhat support reliant. I also figured in this game, because we had Lucio, that I would try it out too, right? So Lucio can give us move speed, get us in on top of the enemy team, so we can actually land more basic attacks and get off more, just keep more uptime on the Fish Tank buff. And then also, you know, we'd have the shields from Lucio, right? The sound barrier. Now, he didn't actually take sound barrier, and I didn't realize until I'd taken Fish Tank. But yeah, the idea is that, you know, sound barrier, a flat shield, is really strong on Murky. You know, all shields are strong on Murky because he's got such a low max HP that, hey, shielding is you know, relative to his weakness, is incredibly powerful. He didn't take sound barrier. So actually, I think Fish Tank, I don't know, Fish Tank, maybe it was a mistake in this game, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say default, go for Rejuve Bubble. And yeah, it's so strong. And basically the idea with this Murky build is that you have good, you know, decent map pressure and stuff. You know, you're good at... You can soak waves. If you're left alone in the lane, that's the real problem with this, is if you leave Murky alone in the lane, he can farm up a fishy deal really easily. If someone is there, they can kill the puffer fish, and then it becomes... yeah, Murky's lane phase can be pretty brutal if you're up against like a ranged damage dealer like Greymane. Like I was worried about this game. It can be pretty painful. You can punish him so much. But if he's left alone, he can just clear out waves so efficiently. Now, one slime, pufferfish, second slime, you know, well, let's say slime, wait a couple of seconds, throw pufferfish, slime again, just the pufferfish is about to go off, land basic attacks on each of the melee minions, and you probably almost clear out the entire wave and get so many stacks for a fishy deal. And then you could just run around creating map pressure, bribing the enemy merc camps, denying them from the enemy team, and doing some damage to their structures. And then you transition into this team fighting monster in the late game, where your slimes are hitting really hard. Each one of your basic attacks is doing a little bit of extra damage and slowing the enemy hero down as well. Then every third basic attack, you're applying a new slime, doing a ton of damage. Then once you hit level 20, you've got lots of HP, max HP. Every time you bubble, you heal up a whole bunch, and you get move speed to get even deeper inside the enemy team lines. And then, of course, you can pop March of the Murlocs to apply even more dots and slows to the enemy team. He's a pretty toxic hero, I would say, if you excuse the pun here, the toxic build-up. But yeah, he's very much annoying to play against. He is the #1 hero overall in Hero League, across all leagues right now. So we're expecting nerfs from Murky. Murky is super OP, and yeah, I think the lower league you go, the more OP he's gonna be as well. Because, you know, your big weakness, which is your early game and your laning phase, simply is not gonna be punished or taken advantage of enough. So you will be able to kind of just, yeah, basically bypass your main weakness, and you're just gonna be this late game monster that hasn't been counterplayed at all. And yeah, that's why his win rate is so high. He's a bit overtuned as well. So I expect Murky nerfs very soon. But until then, hope you guys enjoy. By the way, check out Zola, because I might still be live, as I mentioned during this video. If you watch the whole video, hey, hop over to Zola. I might be doing some live Hero League stuff. You can join me there. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked. That was a terrible impression. I'm sick. Forgive me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.